I'll kind of do round robins with everybody to see what's going on with their devices, and then bring us back over here and reveal all of the answers. All the communication devices, Ouija board, spirit boxes, and the word list on John. I will not be giving you questions here like what color is George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn. You will be getting the answers from the devices that you are using. That's the whole point of this. I don't want you searching for things that are going to be going through it all the time. Now, where are you? Welcome to a parking lot. Congrats, you made it. I told you, I take you to weird spots. This used to be something. This used to be the Pinckney Mansion site. Their mansion actually sat behind me, belonging to Eliza Lucas and Charles Pinckney. So Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant, came all the way across, and then the servant and slave quarters were in the back of the area. So now that you guys have a layout of the land, who the hell were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles, they had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks. That's why we look for secondary clues. I need to know which one's coming through in the event that the name Charles is actually what you guys are hearing. So that way I can address them the appropriate way. Now the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a big deal for us, but I hate politics more than all of you combined. I just bring it up because if I don't, they will do it for me in a nasty manner from a spirit box. Like, hey, where's my damn recognition? So I just do it every night and move on to Eliza, which is who we're going to be talking about next. Eliza marries Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it that way because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she married, do not expect numbers from the colonial days that she came from, like 12 and 14. Think of today's standards, because her husband was over double her age. It was creepy then, it's creepy now. I'm just going to put that age gap in the back of your brains. Now, Eliza married him because her father was over in England. He thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all of his kids home one last time. He wants to see him before he dies. Eliza didn't believe he was dying. She stayed put and got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year to get a green card because we are not a country yet. There's no such thing. She did marry him out of love. Believe it or not, this is a true love story, and there is nothing horrific about this haunting. So, moving on. She was correct. Dad did not die right away, and instead he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That is a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. Some of you are wearing it right now. Now, when she got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She actually had to learn from her servants and slaves on how to keep it cultivated. It's not always warm here. Then she learned how to make the dye from them and moved it to a cash crop. Got a hold of her father and told him that the rice plantation prices were going downhill. They were going to make a killing with the indigo. She was correct, because now we have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Something absolutely unheard of. Now, with that said, that's the boring business stuff of Eliza. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are all here. With each set of communication devices, I'm going to be giving you guys a set of focus questions. What does that mean? You can either focus on them or you can say them out loud. There's no right or wrong way to do this. So again, it's at what everybody's comfort level is, and we will be spreading out a little bit. I don't know why I keep getting, so I have Peyton down, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Liz and Kate. Okay. So I will have to keep Liz behind with me so I can show her how to operate that thing a little bit further. We're going to start off with Bill and
Michelle and Elaine.
Thank you. And Elaine, you two have the same type of spirit box. You're going to have the same set of questions. You guys are going to be focused on her death. The 4 major things we get answers to: how old she was when she died, what she died from, where she's buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. Those are the 4 majors. If you go rogue, just make sure A, they're respectful questions, and that they're not yes/no questions. You get the point. Keep them nice and open. Keith, yours is going to be relative to the mansion's not here anymore. You're going to ask what happened to it, and if you get the what, we will often get 2 or 3 numbers from the date of the actual tragedy of when that occurred. So they're very specific numbers. So John, with yours is kind of a catch-all. The same thing with the little Ouija board device. So the 2 of you are going to be you're going to be looking for Eliza's initials, ELP, and you're going to be looking for what that L stands for. So the reason why is because there's 2 Eliza wives. The first wife also was named Eliza, but she also had a maiden name that started with the letter L. So sometimes you would just get the answers to what everybody else is asking. So hopefully we get words that are spelled out, but particularly we're looking for ELP in that order, no word scramble about it. Who else has a spirit box? I think that about covers all of them. Yes, so I think that covers all of these spirit boxes that we have. EMF meters, you guys already know what you're doing. So I'm going to be keeping Liz behind, so we are going to spread out. Again, just be mindful of the cars coming in and out. That's the only way in and out for vehicles. Nice slow movements out of your cameras. Looks like everybody's recording. And then Ginger, I'll probably come to you next so I can help you debunk a few of the things that you're seeing on there. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'll do a few round robins. Let's get to work, everybody. You guys know why you showed up. Go ghost hunt.
Okay.
Feels like, hell yeah, this guy's awesome. All right, so we're going to crank up your sensitivity. Over there, we are by
Yeah, I'm about to go there and drink.
It's just, No's not gonna go up there.
Yeah.
When you guys get done,
let us know when you
let's
guys
go.
come back.
Let's go. Give me. We could go save a seat on it.
Oh, you're supposed to be asking for him to come out.
He's right here.
That's
get
it.
a bump?
That's what he knows. We can go over there. Wait, save us a seat.
No, I didn't. Did
Lizzie?
you? I bumped up to 28.
Eliza.
Eliza.
I was supposed to 15.
Eliza.
Eliza?
Eliza. Eliza. Right here.
Well, Caitlin and I
Let's
both
see.
drunk yet.
Eliza.
Book this.
Who? What is it? Let's see.
KG.
What's the else that The L's in them.
Sham. Eliza.
LL Cool J, baby. LL Cool J. Oh, what I hear? What I hear?
Oh my gosh. Eliza? Eliza? Huh?
Caitlin said she feels like she wants us to go right.
Oh. Eliza.
Where are you?
What is my device supposed to do?
I don't know.
Eliza. 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 What are they doing? Oh my gosh, please stop. You're gonna go at it. This is his job. Dude, this is his job. This is his job. This is his job.
Hello, Mr. Shower.
Radio. Freshman 4? Oh, I love this.
Tanner, come here. Tanner, come here. Tanner, come here. Tanner, come here.
Oh,
Hey,
there's Eliza.
Eliza.
I saw her right there.
How did you? Oh, Eliza.
Oh my gosh.
Eliza, is that you? Wave at us. Eliza, wave if that's you. Eliza, wave if it's you. Oh, that's weird, isn't it? Eliza, will you wave? Will you wave? Eliza. Eliza.
Talking to Eliza.
Oh, shoot.
Eliza.
Hold on. Who's that?
Who is that?
Who is that?
Did you see?
It's Eliza.
Who is that? Who is that?
Eliza.
She waved.
Hey, why she walking towards
Oh my gosh.
She waved.
Eliza, wave. Eliza, you're my friend. Eliza. She waved. Eliza. Eliza, you're my friend. Liza. Liza. Keith, please stop it. I'm really not playing. This is this man's life. You're not gonna make a joke about it.
Who is that?
Go tell him to come here and ask him. There, go get him. Eliza. Nick.
He's talking about it.
Stomach, man.
Eliza's gone. Guys.
Oh, stomach.
Don't forget.
That looks cool. Look at that up there.
Eliza.
No, it's not going to go.
Elizabeth's Ouija board just says join MPS, and those are my initials.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no. Join?
Join says join MPS.
Oh my gosh. You're next.
All right, Ginger. What have you seen so far?
Did Eliza get her head cut off?
No.
Okay.
Where would you get that from?
Because, wait,
Did you have like a headless figure?
yeah.
Okay, no. Again, I told you nothing horrific about this location. So that would be a pretty horrific scene, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so because we were watching it and something came up right there.
So that post that you're looking at is in front of the building behind it. So it's always going to try to make it look like a figure right there.
Okay.
So literally what you're looking for with this, and by the way, anything with leaves is not your friend. So trees,
Okay,
bushes, any foliage at all, because all the leaves are in front of another leaf. So it's going to make it look like there's somebody in the bush.
Yeah.
And always a pirate hanging from a tree, because
Yeah.
that's what everybody always says.
Yeah.
Like, hey, it looks like a pirate hanging in the tree.
Yeah.
So just kind of keep that in mind. So literally, with like, see how it's trying to make it look like a person?
Yeah.
Because there's a depth perception.
Okay.
Because that thing is spraying out dots.
Okay.
So those dots are going out. So whichever ones are shorter is where what you're seeing. It's going to put the stick figure on that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
Also,
how do you know what's real though?
so that's where you start to get the reaction. So if you see something, for example, go ahead and put it back up there. And let's say we have a figure right here, and you're like, hey, if you're Eliza, can you raise your right hand for us, or just move to your right? Like, you can ask direct questions, and we've
Yeah.
had that kind of interaction in the past.
Okay.
So like right now, I can tell you right now, that's an easy debunkable piece because that is directly in front of that building.
Okay.
And that's the only thing that it's picking up on is the outline of that post.
Okay.
So if you were pointing it at, me and Bill here, and all of a sudden there's a third person and
Yeah.
there's nobody behind here,
Right, then.
that's when you can okay, what's happening? Especially if they're in a different stance. So if I have my hands in my pockets, it's going to give the full outline of my arms looking like triangles going
Okay.
into my pockets.
Yeah.
If somebody's standing over here like this,
Yeah.
and the other arm is over here,
Then you know it's-
we know
yeah.
we might actually have something.
Okay.
Your shadows. It will also pick up on shadows, like on the ground. It's not a ghost, it's you. That's because it's an absence of light. It makes it look like your shadow is in front of the ground. Does that make sense? So I know it's a weird concept to have, but it will pick up in your shadows every time. And everybody says, look right there on the wall. I'm
Yeah.
like, look, there's also your shadow.
Shadow, yeah.
So it will pick up your shadow as well.
Okay.
So trees, leaves, shadows.
Okay.
Automatically debunked.
Okay.
So when you're looking at it and you're like, oh, why is that thing right there on the post? Is it in front of something else inside the frame?
Gotcha.
Then you can pretty much debunk it yourself.
Okay.
Can you remind me of my questions? How old she was?
Her death. How old she was, how she died,
Okay.
where she's buried,
Yeah.
pallbearer at the funeral. That was the president.
Got it.
So also remember, with all of these people asking questions right now, the answers can go anywhere. I just explained this over to Michelle and Elaine. So if you're asking questions, you might get the answer over there on a different spirit box that Keith might hear. It might come up as a disembodied voice on my voice recorder or on the camera, because all three cameras record audio as well. So again, that's why you guys tell me all of the silly things that you're hearing, no matter what it is. It could be a direct answer to your question or not, because you don't know what these other people are asking, or if they went rogue and asked their own question. Somebody might ask what color the house was, and you hear the color yellow, and you're like, I don't know what yellow is because I didn't ask anything that dealt with them. That would be an answer. But somebody might have asked what color the house was. You don't know that. So that's why I say, tell me all of the silly things that you're hearing, and it's usually names, numbers, and the silly things that are usually the most evidential things that we're going to actually get. So that's where, and again, you guys are going to get a lot of gibberish. A lot of it's going to be just gobbledygook kind of stuff. So if you heard anything that stood out at this point.
I've heard poet. I've heard $500.
So poet.
Poet. Yep. And $500. Just
Okay.
the two most salient things.
Okay. So Again, poet is interesting because that's not something you would normally hear on the radio.
Yeah,
And that's what
right.
I'm looking for. All that weird shit. But if you hear a Toyota commercial, tell me that you heard somebody trying to sell you a freaking Toyota.
Okay.
Because you don't know that that building over there didn't once hold a person that died that made a part for a Toyota.
Right.
That's the curse of me knowing the history of all the buildings around us because I never know what the hell's coming on.
No kidding. Okay.
So I know it happens all the time.
Cool.
So, all right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. John.
So are you asking it questions? Are you speaking out loud?
Focusing on the question.
Oh. What if you...
How old were you when you died? How'd you die, Eliza? How'd you die, Eliza? Eliza, how did you die?
What was one of your pallbearers?
How'd you die, Eliza?
Tell her she can trust us.
Where are you buried, Eliza?
Tell her she can trust us.
Here, it said her Ouija board said join MPS, and then it said EBL.
It said EBL too?
Yes.
Oh, that's
After
weird.
MPS.
Oh, that's weird. We're not.
Oh,
We're like out of every letter
Yes.
combination.
Yeah.
that's crazy. Both? That's insane.
Yes.
Join.
You just sleep in the other bedroom.
No,
Don't
it
bring
said
that negative
it said
energy.
join, and then Liz saw
Like
the M.
Join.
Yes,
Like
and then
join.
it said, and then it had an M, and Liz goes, "Please don't say me, please don't say me," and then it was MPS, and then it restarted, and it said EBL.
Oh my gosh, that's weird. That's weird. Tell her she can trust us.
Huh?
Tell her she can trust us.
Eliza,
You can trust us.
We're nice,
just trying
Liza.
to communicate with you. How'd you die? How old were you when you
Hunter
died?
said he heard
Where are
poet,
you buried?
poet, and $500. I don't know what that means. Oh,
Better give her $500.
Yeah, right? That was something.
It's less than $11,000 wherever the gypsy wanted from Caitlin.
that's true.
It's much more affordable.
Savings
Yes,
of nearly
yes,
$300.
yes, right.
Savings of nearly $300. Let's heard that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's savings.
I don't like this.
Is it somebody's voice that you actually hear?
It's like interference from different radio stations.
Oh.
Yeah.
Eliza.
Clear when you heard poet?
Yeah, poet was pretty clear. I just heard savings of $300, pretty clear.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are there any jams on there?
No, it's just like broken pieces. Skydiving. I just heard skydiving.
No.
Yes, I did.
Oh my god.
That's weird.
I just heard skydiving.
She heard us
Anybody else
singing
got
our
anything
song.
weird going on with
Yeah, that's
Okay.
kind of weird. Like the
Yeah,
song we
we
listened to on the
heard-
way here.
Yeah.
It had join MPS, which
I've
are
seen
my
that.
initials,
Right.
and then it did her initials, EBL.
Get the hell out of here. Who'd you guys bring with you?
I don't know.
Liza.
So we listened
Eliza's
to a
already
song called Skydiving by Tim McGraw,
Okay.
and I just heard like that lyric.
Skydiving.
Yeah, skydiving.
So to me, that has no relevance to her, but you're on the right track. I don't care who sang it, just tell me the lyrics. Because again, she's not going to know who
I
Tim
went
McGraw.
skydiving.
Was there somebody named Tim here? I'm like, that's not how this works. Again, we're talking about somebody from Colonial Days. No, this is already knows the lyrics.
I went
So the way I explain it to them, it's kind of like
skydiving.
Transformers.
Yeah.
Just because you guys have direct initials. Yeah, so to me, that's more relevant to you guys. So I'm more interested on what's on his recording that could come up, and I don't know what it means until I give you guys your
I heard poet, $500, and savings of $300. And then I heard skydiving. A song by Tim McGraw.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
But again, he's
After
probably,
we listened to it?
but he's probably missing a lot too,
Yeah.
because he's new at this. He's never done this before, so there's probably a lot of stuff in there that he just missed out on.
I got up to 58.4.
Holy cow! Good job.
just got the word hot. We're getting warmer.
No, that's actually relevant in a much different way.
Got the word what?
Hot.
What does that mean?
Probably because I'm
Well,
right.
somebody should be asking what happened to the mansion, which I believe I gave those questions to Key. That's the answer.
Burned out.
It did burn.
Hot City, maybe? Hot 6, CIT.
What was the other? You said save $300, and then you had a 58.3. Was that what it was?
20. So 20.
Hot CIL.
Yep. Okay. So you're probably ready for a reset. We'll probably run.
Die, Liza.
Liza, you have one more chance.
30% off.
Forward it to us.
30% off.
That's
Doesn't
what he
mean
does 'cause
anything.
we're thinking.
I'm gonna start blurting out whatever I'm hearing.
Yeah, yeah.
That we're saying.
I want us to try.
Ask her. Ask her. Ask her a question.
Give me a
Liza.
sign, Eliza.
Liza, how did you die?
How'd you die?
Give us a sign.
Be here. I heard skydiving by Tim McGraw here.
Yeah.
I just want everybody to know this is the most accurate device he has. It's 75% accurate.
And
Just wait, okay? It's 75%.
So there's a word that comes out of there. It's like accurate. That has something to do with
Let's come back over to where we started.
I know. That it really bothers me. You know, keep telling us it's his job. Just stop it. Yeah, stop. Like, this drinking and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And again, that's going to be most of your night.
This guy deals with it a lot. But I'll be that
He's a
All right,
ball.
so cameras, give your hands a break. Go ahead and hit those stop buttons. So stop it and restart it. So what happens, just so you guys know with these videos, as I do splice them all together, and YouTube doesn't like the flippies, so you guys will have a few minutes like this where you have to watch it upside down. So again, I don't fix them because it takes way too much time to be able to fix 10 seconds of video where I caught somebody that's upside down. Any words?
Hit.
Hit. Hit and tug. That's interesting. So we lost somebody. Did we lose somebody out of the group?
No.
We're all here? Okay. Maybe I was just used to the number in my head was 11. Maybe that's.
oh, you want to switch?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Hey Nick,
Yeah.
just so you know, it stopped recording. This is not in here, right?
Yeah. Just tap it.
That's very good.
I'm looking for a spike, right?
Mm-hmm.
Above
Oh, because you hit the camera button.
Above. Here, what's the spike over for this?
23, you said?
There you go.
Here it's 8.
Above 8. So
Yeah.
looking for
In this
above 8.
location would be an above an 8 because of the lamp posts. They're going to give off a little bit of electricity in the air. Okay. So when we get to the next space, it'll be back down to 2.5. All right, so welcome to Philadelphia Alley, everybody. So this used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So when I say some of the duels, it's because dueling was illegal back in the 1700s. You actually had to find hiding spots. This just happened to be one of them. So every ghost tour comes down here. It's kind of a staple. So Keith, I'm going to actually have you put that on mute because my ear is trained to listen to that. So I will kind of get all kinds of distracted. But every ghost tour comes here. We all tell the same story. I'm just going to give you a few extra details because you're ghost hunting and we have different devices. Obviously, they're not using devices. But I was actually going to take this out of my routes because it's a giant cliche. You're going to see that here in just a minute. But this guy follows me around town. He actually goes with us to the next location and then we'll show up again at our last stop as well. So again, this guy's story has been told for the past 40 to 50 years. We're the only ones that communicate back with him, especially directly when we can hear things coming from him. So it's very interesting as it actually works out. So here's how this story goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. I'll stop there for a brief moment. Our Ouija board device that Liz is holding, you're going to be looking for the initials RI for Rhode Island. It's going to make more sense even further in just a moment. Spirit Box listeners, if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl show up, it's not coincidence. We get it here all the time because it's part of the doctor's name. So you guys are getting the point. Moving forward, Dr. Ladd moves here because he is supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash flow. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money, so he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. He comes here to Charleston to prove that he's not. On his way into town, he had a coachman that set him up to be robbed and killed. It's kind of like having a really bad Uber driver today. So somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen. The person walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. He has the same initials as where the doctor came from. That's the reason why I have that device that you're holding, is I wanted to make sure all the RIs I was getting out of a regular spirit box. Wow, somebody just broke something. Sounds of flatter shattering glass. Gotta love that on a ghost night. But anyway, that's the reason why we have that device. Moving forward, Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's gonna try to kill you. Just come with me. I got friends at 59 Church Street. You can rent a room from them. You'll be safe and good to go. Doc took him up on the offer. They became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. He's making his own. So Amanda gets wind of this and she's moving down so they could be married. Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor because he whistled all the time. This is the reason I hate this story. It's a giant cliche. Every haunted city you will ever visit has a cliched whistling ghost. Ours just happens to be a doctor. We're going to move forward. Let's talk about the duel. Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So one night they go see Richard III and they're arguing over the new actress they just saw that they never seen before. Dr. Ladd thought she was great. Ralph did not. They start arguing and then Ralph is insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island. It got really ugly. They went their separate ways. Ralph then goes to his friends at the newspaper and places an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of bullshit. Doc saw the ad but rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. Somebody's going to die. Keep in mind that this whole argument started over an actress. Pretty dumb. The two gentlemen came down here back to back, took their 10 paces away from each other. They turned and the doc points his gun in the air and he shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just needed the courage to show up to the fight, which is often what happened at a duel in the 1700s. Ralph has his one bullet left in his flintlock and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Doc didn't die, he fell to the ground. Ralph proved his point. He's not willing to forgive. Doc's friends took him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. I'm going to point out two things. It's 1786. Gunshot wounds back then, a lot different than what we know of them now. Secondly, he's a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but he failed, obviously because he died. Now, every ghost tour that comes down here tells you to listen for the whistles. We have 3 cameras plus my voice recorder running. In the event that a disembodied whistle will show up, it'll be on one of those 4 devices. However, on the red spirit boxes, I can't tell you how many times we've had the whistling part of a song and then the word doctor from a commercial show up immediately after. Dozens upon dozens of times. Again, it's just him kind of letting us know that he's here and saying hello to us all the time. If you're going to try this on your own without me, because I can't take you all the way through, I've actually been kicked out of here. We're going to talk about that because that's the fun part of the story. And you use the voice recorders from your phones later on. Just remember that every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alley. It's just something we do here in Charleston. Now, here's how I got thrown out. This is the fun part. Are you ready? Now, where we came in, there used to be a wall up there, like pretty close to Cumberland Street. The reason why is because this used to be called Cow Alley. This is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. Now, why am I telling you this? Because down at the other end, those bricks are older than the ones you're standing on. They are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down at the end and fingerprint swipes and others. I used to take my groups down there for a history lesson. Nothing paranormal about it. We all need to see how far we've come from slavery here in Charleston. You're going to hear about it. Now, when you get down there, obviously, I took my group down there on November 26th of 2020. They're all huddled around that brick, waiting for something to happen. I know nothing's going to happen. Because again, the kid's not staring at the brick in the afterlife. So I'm trying to shoo them along because we're also outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm just trying to be respectful, not realizing I was out of bounds for tours. I was still new at this. So the new owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter thought it was hysterical. She was on the tour that night and her dad's getting yelled at. She was all about it. So we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I worked in upper management for Walmart, and you guys all fight over towels on Thanksgiving, and you've scarred me for life. I will never work another Thanksgiving again. The next day was the 28th. I called my partner that I had at the time, and I told him what happened, trying to figure out what to do next. And he started laughing at me just like my daughter did. He said, dude, you can only go down halfway. Other than that, it's considered residential. Reroute your group tonight. Well, it's Black Friday, and I'm sold out again. So I told my group, I don't believe in the next story we're going to because I'm into vampires, not pirates. Obviously, we're going to be discussing pirates next. So before we left the space, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating, the female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I got a little excited. I took them around the corner, told them what I did know about piracy in Charleston. Somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300. I have no idea what that means, so I wrote it down. I did the research for them. It turns out we were there November 28th of 2020, and Bonnie's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We're going to let these fine folks pass through. Excuse us. We were there on the exact 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial. It was the first time I went there to fully investigate with a stranger team, if you get the point. So I've been taking you guys there ever since. I actually had a problem with this because I have a master's degree in creative writing. Whenever I research anything, I need facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore, guys. And pirate lore was written 100 years after the days of Blackbeard. That's a problem. I have to read more books to verify whatever you guys are finding. Luckily for you, we're 4 years later. I've read the books. So just know when we get over there, it is a 50-50 shot if Aunt Bonnie will even be there, but we will get things from Dr. Ladd over there as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. The gate, by the way, I also like to point that out. There's another reason why I stop at the gate. I know I talk a lot in this location, and then we're going to go talk again before we spread out. But the gate, remember I told you that there was a wall up there? So if there was a loser to the duel down here, the gate was the shortcut to get to the cemetery literally on the other side of this wall behind me. Otherwise, they have to walk all the way down to Queen Street and then double back with the dead body before they can go celebrate the winner. And when we walk by that gate, the wrought iron was probably put there in the early 1900s to kind of like stop it as an easement to get over to St. Philip's, property, because this is city property. That is obviously the church property. But you'll see that the archway, when you look above it, is actually part of the original wall. So just one of those stupid little fun facts that you find, and you're like, oh, I'm going to spread that around because I call that thing the Death Gate. So super fun stuff. Cameras, as we're going over to the next location, if you want to leave them running, completely up to you. Again, just don't make the catering team up there feel uncomfortable that we're filming them. But we're going to go up and around the corner and stay out of the way of the other ghost tours. Have we heard or seen anything on our devices before we leave the space?
As soon as I put this on, I heard 200 to 300.
200 to 300. Okay. Anybody else got anything?
I just heard the word presentation.
Presentation. 200 to 300 in presentation. Any words being spelled out? All right, Keith, we'll get you unmuted again so you can listen and get back to work. Any numbers from our EMF devices? Nothing. All right. We ready to learn about Rated R Pirates? Okay, we're going to go this way. Can't go that way, remember? I get booted out of here.
What? What? I had it upside down.
I know. They're gonna give us some bad footage.
They don't know the death gate. It's 35.3.
Filler. A filler in. I don't think like.
Yeah, nothing used it much. Just to keep it busy. There's electricity in the air right now.
How much? I wonder what's the highest Caitlin got.
23.
We're all tired.
Okay.
I just okay. Oh, I forgot we were in front. No, I was just wanting to
We definitely gets activity here. It's like a. He's taking her job serious. Yeah. She's taking her job serious.
It's invested.
Uh-huh.
Eager.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is invested. Anything?
All right. Any numbers that I need to know about?
2.0.
So up in this area, like on this front half, I don't get excited from like a 2 to a 6. The transformers are pretty low, plus the parking meters on the other side. When we spread out in the back, if you get a 2.5, I'm actually excited about those, just so you know. It's a rarity that we actually see them. We did get like a 3-point something here last night, and then like a 6 the night before. So I was pretty stoked. So John, where's our word list at? Where are we at with that on the list? Just give me the last 3 or 4 terms, and if anybody other spirit box heard anything along the way here.
Positive, aluminum, high,
Instant high from aluminum. Neat. Sorry, got to put a story together for it. What did you hear?
I heard military.
Okay.
And one more horse.
Military, one more horse. Got to write that one down. What do we got coming out of yours, Michelle?
I heard foundation and Charleston.
Charleston's I threw away because you're listening to Charleston radio stations. Same thing with the number 843. That's our area code. So if you guys hear 843, don't even tell me. I'm not writing it down. So that's kind of how this goes. So you guys see the tiny little building behind me? This is the Gunpowder Magazine. So it's a museum now, so it's a great $5 to spend if you guys are going to be in town for a few days. But we're here not because of the building itself, but what it actually stands for. So notice that these crosses on the building are not crosses. They're earthquake bolts. So just like I talked about the earthquake of 1886 at the top of our night, the earthquake bolts, if you're not familiar with them, they're basically turnbuckles. So it goes all the way through the building, and if we have another earthquake like what we did before, you can tighten it, and it'll tighten the building so it doesn't incur any further damage. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. And the only reason I bring these ones up specifically is because it is part of the reason why we're here. That's the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. You guys are seeing them all over town in the form of lion heads and pineapples and Charleston charm. Even the apartment building behind it has them on every single floor. But notice how crude these ones are. It's the first set they put in because this is the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. We are here because this building was being constructed at the same time that Anne Bonny was coming here to start her new life. This is what I call a familiar. For those of you that don't watch the TV shows, they're using a new device called a Boo Buddy. It's basically a teddy bear with a little blinky light EMF meter in it, so a child ghost can come near it and it says, ooh, that tickles, and it's super creepy. But they use that as a toy because the child would recognize it. Think of that concept with this building. We don't have any buildings this old, so we're hoping that Anne Bonny is around this area because it's from her era. So that's why this is a 50-50 roll of the dice if she'll even be here. But remember, we will get bleed over from Dr. Ladd. The building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? No, not at all. I'll chance her for you. I had a lot of uncomfortable looks on that one. Bill's the only one that laughed.
I'm just thinking of all the unfinished roads we have.
All right.
For years.
With this particular building, our history begins right in the middle of it. I'll speed through this one so we can get back to work because I see a lot of like the feet shuffling, like Nick talks a lot. But I will slow down on some of the twists because we are talking about a kick-ass female pirate. Now, 1708, a young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormac. She comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Are you guys with me so far? Mm-hmm. Okay, the three of them running away from her father's angry wife. How pissed was that wife that she kicked him out of the damn country? So if you're here with a lady friend, treat him nice. She'll kick you all the way up to Canada by plane. They didn't have planes back in 1708. They had boats. They landed in Georgetown. Dad bought a plantation in Georgetown, but Mom died pretty quickly. That means Dad is now sending young Anne down here to sell things from that plantation to keep things afloat, hence the familiar building. Step back in Ireland for just a second. They say when Anne was only 7, 8, 9 years old that she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. I'm just kind of giving you the mentality of this young lady as we kind of go through her history. So fast forward, the building's done in 13. By 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne is pretty stoked because she's going to fall in love with one of these guys so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. It's a man's world during these times. So the first guy she falls in love with, and I said it that way because there's a good number of them. We're going to talk about them all. That's what makes her story so interesting. First guy is James Bonny. You already see where this one's going, right? Dad didn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica. They got married. Anne Cormac became Anne Bonny. That's where the name came from. When they get down to Jamaica and they're married, she realizes that her new husband is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. That makes him a spy for the British. He's a coward. This isn't who she wants. She falls in love again. Guy number 2. I'll keep track for you. Guy number 2 is John Rackham, but everybody calls him Calico Jack. This is the guy they based your Johnny Depp character off of, in case anybody was wondering. Jack has his own crew. He has his own ship. Anne wants to be part of that crew. You cannot put a female on a pirate ship. Does anybody know why? Look at all of the awkward silences. It's bad luck, everybody. Get your heads out of the gutter. So, now, it's bad luck, so he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and look like my crew, then you could be part of the crew. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. She gets it. It's a man's world. But we are all adults here. Put 2 and 2 together. She is a female in Jack's quarters, and you cannot have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl. So she does get pregnant, and before she starts the show, Jack drops her off in Cuba. Have the baby here. These are friends of mine. Come back later, and we'll figure it out. She goes and has that baby, but returns with no baby. We have no idea what happened to the child, by the way. None of my research has ever discovered it. She also comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack pretty angry. The reason why is now everybody's going to know he let a girl on the ship. To make him even more mad, she's going to go flirting with the pirate crew he just captured. They're down below deck. Guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the crew that Calico Jack just captured. So now we have 2 females dressed like pirates on the same ship. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Now, Anne and Mary, friends for sure, maybe lovers, not really sure because of the time frame, but the British find out where they are. They send a whole fleet of ships to come take down one pirate ship. The rumor about that is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates that were not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1-bullet flintlocks. So they don't know how to use cannon jet. So obviously 2 ladies with 1-bullet guns cannot take on a whole fleet of Navy ships. They get arrested. As they're being arrested, Anne looks at her captain and beau and says, "Jack, I'm sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up on your communication devices a lot, by the way. The judge wants to see the 2 men, quote unquote, that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone. The 2 ladies go in front of the judge and reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves, and the judge could give a shit that they are female. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them. They scream out, "We plead our bellies," which means they're claiming to be pregnant, because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. He sends them both back to jail. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne and brings her home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're going to count Mary because we're not really sure. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84. Very abrupt ending because we don't know anything truthful about her after her pirate career, and obviously I don't like to spread rumors. Mary Reed died 5 months later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. I usually say just call it scurvy. Now, make it romantic, right? So I'm not going to control this environment like what I did at the Pinckney Mansion site. You can ask whatever you want, but here's a couple of things I left out. I did not tell you the name of Anne Bonny's parents. That's the father and the mistress. I did not tell you the name of the city she grew up in, Ireland. The name of the ship that she joined with Calico Jack, and the color of her hair. Everything else is fair game. Ask whatever the hell you want to here. This is one of those locations I say if you brought a bottle of rum and you smoke tobacco, have at it. You'll probably attract her closer to you. So again, we're going to spread out at this location. Obviously, we're down to like 3 cars. EMF meters, you guys got the gist on yours. Try to stay towards the back. If you find a reading, let me know. I'll do a few round robins like what we did before. Anything going on weird already? All right, guys, let's get to work. See what we got.
Good point too. Right behind you.
Wait, are you asking? Are you going to ask questions in order?
You like the brick? Brick work? Like all the white. What do you like about the brick? Hear that?
What?
I think the brick has some character. He likes it.
1712.
That's good work. Back 79. See those holes or those bolts?
Mm-hmm. This hurricane.
Yeah, that's cool. I've never heard of that.
Kind of silly. John.
Where's John?
What happened to John? Who is John?
I see the same thing on a regular basis. Gotta look for the patterns.
Should we be concerned about John?
You gotta go that rooftop bar.
John was gonna piece of cake.
Where's John?
John said it was a really famous cake spot over here. He wanted to check out. It's so interesting.
I am concerned about John. Have you guys seen John?
Where's Big John?
We don't know where John is.
I don't know where Big John is.
I hope he's taking his job seriously.
I know.
Tanner said he's looking for some cake.
He told us on the way here there's a really famous like cake shop around here.
Yeah, he says it's very
Yeah, he might have just like bailed and some cake.
We heard it closed at 10:30.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing, man.
Was he back there with us?
He was standing right here before we like split off.
Think a ghost got him? You think a ghost got him?
Might have been Dr. Brown. Dr. Brown. I'm not missing this opportunity. He said it's best coconut cake he's ever had in his life.
Are you the Tanner that was on the list?
Yeah.
Okay.
William Tanner. Bill.
You serious? What you got?
I heard the song "I'm Too Sexy." I feel like that's gotta be notable.
Simply because somebody hit something on this. It went to a recording that was on the SD card. It should look like that, where it's just running through all the radio. So you had a timer on there. That was how long?
I mean, he'll
As it says, 83
back
minutes.
over.
Yeah.
So you've been out for about that long. So you just hit a button on there.
He said Tanner.
He said
He said Tanner. He said Tanner.
Yes.
He said Tanner.
The unfortunate, well, I guess the fortunate part is, you too, you didn't really hear much besides yeah. Too Sexy. You guys got the point. So, you got anything weird?
No.
Nothing. Not an easy task on yours, is it? Yeah, it's a lot of like weird scrambling coming through. Nothing on your end.
2.3 was actually the twice.
Okay, where were we at?
Here and then right here.
Like 2.5, because an actual EMF is 1.1, so 2.5 is really the first indicator on the blinker that might suggest something.
What's that?
Oh, there it is. But that feels weird.
Did you have something else that you didn't tell me?
Just cow and buns.
Yeah, I'm actually excited about that POW, but I also look for AV for Anne Bonnie or MR for Mary Reader. So,
Sure you don't want to sip
You like cow?
we're near the powder magazine.
But you don't like buns?
I didn't say I didn't like it, but again, the I'm Too Sexy would have kind of confirmed that, but
Yeah.
again, it came from a
glitch.
recording, right. So it came from the previous tour's recording on there.
Oh, so she made sense
Right.
previously.
Correct. So, exactly. Let's see. Anything crazy on your end, Miss Ginger?
Nothing.
Nothing.
What are my initials again? A, B,
MR.
M.
So we'll kind of give us an extra few minutes.
Anything for you? Any high numbers?
2.3. You gotta have 2 blue powder. I'm 75% I do. 5% out of 0. 75% I go. 75 times 0 is 0. Yes. I wonder if we can get Chick-fil-A and cake. Send him on a mission. Like right back with cake? What's he gonna do? He better. He's gonna walk back in our
Better have
group
some
with a
ghost
bag
cake.
of cake.
You better have some ghost cake.
I was gonna rejoin the group with a bag of cake.
Ghost cake. Dr. Ladd gave us. We just gotta eat real quick. If you like ghosts, this spirits. I can't believe you left us to get cake.
Show up quickly, don't stay there long. Dr. Ladd, you can follow us, like giving that permission. And then our last stop, I don't even like to mention his name yet until we get over there because two people are not going to know anything about the history as we do the experiment, but the rest of it all will. So you'll see how that actually works.
I didn't know to go.
So,
Get cake?
all kinds of ass showing up on there,
One
right?
of the best cakes I've ever had.
Just like
Say what?
It's the best cake
any
I've ever
numbers?
had.
Nothing.
Oh, I got
Karen
20
Gessler.
babies, one bag, and an 80. I don't know if any of that is relevant.
Get some for the group.
That's really kind of them. I really want a burger.
I think that one's Chick-fil-A. Caitlin, are you hearing anything?
Not really.
It's all very loosely
What's this thing doing?
Say what?
What's that thing doing?
There he is. There he is. There's John. Good job.
Oh my gosh, Big John's coming back.
All right. Don't really feel like we have a lot going on unless Caitlin's going to give me a bunch of stuff.
I'm not. I keep. What's the song? Shoot. The song, something Poindexter in it. I keep hearing that same
Poindexter.
part, but I don't know if that means anything.
I thought we were missing somebody. John, did you bring us all dinner?
Some more coconut cake from Benny's.
How's our word list? What do we got going on
We
there?
have lifestyle, treasure, goal, soul.
I like treasure. It's kind of a piratey term, yeah? So we'll see if anything else pops up with that. This location's been pretty light. I'm sure you guys can agree with me on that one. So we're going to wrap this one up. I'm going to take us over back to the wall, give you the very quick answers, but I have to explain the next location. It is our last stop, just so you know. It is a giant experiment that it's completely different than what we've been doing. So two people will not know the history of that space during the experiment. They'll have to wait for the recordings to come back. I'll explain once we get over to the wall. So this is kind of intrigued, I'm sure some of you.
Oh.
That baby was going on her ghost tour. Oh, she went crazy. And
Dogs can't feel. Maybe we should have brought our dogs.
and
And?
oh,
And?
I just said girls just want to have fun.
It comes up here all the time. I love it. There we go. Now we're talking. All right, so here's how the next stop is going to go. So I'm going to take Caitlin because she's actually doing pretty well with this. And we're going to put a blindfold on her, and she's going to sit on a bench. And I'm going to take everybody else and teach them a quick history on the ghost we're going to try to communicate with. The reason why we're going to blindfold her when we come back is because it's going to hopefully look like a conversation between me and the ghost. So hopefully she's going to be repeating everything she hears, and it's going to look like a conversation. So this way she doesn't know what she's looking for. She doesn't even know who we're looking for, male, female, time period, or anything. Secondary person, I'm going to take Miss Elaine, and we're going to run an experiment with her too. She's going to be sitting next to you. She's going to be in virtual reality. That virtual reality piece is going to create artificial intelligence images that are hopefully going to be complementary to the conversation that I have with the ghost over here. So this is actually a super cool experiment because it can either turn out super funny, like she's only telling me silly things that are answers to my questions, or we might actually have a full-blown conversation and you'll get to watch it unfold because the rest of you will know the history. So with the imagery, it's about 45% accurate, so about half the images that she will see, and we get anywhere between 1 to 10 in a 10-minute time frame, because this is timed, like I don't keep you guys under for too long. So about half the images will be relevant to that space. It's about a 1 out of 3 chance that you and I will have a full-blown successful session. And again, you're not going to know if it, I'll tell you at the end if it was or not, but you'll have to rely on friends and family to tell you like, hey, that was a relevant thing, or you can wait for the video to get the full history. So that's what we do on the last stop. So it's a big fun experiment, and it kind of keeps us all inclusive on the whole thing. You guys will see it as it kind of unfolds when we get there. Quick answers for the Anne Bonny bit, which by the way, do you guys remember the heated warning I gave you about the headache, nausea, dizziness? this location is the reason why. A couple of years ago, month of September, probably the same temperature, I took my team to the back, and just like I always do, because I let the other tourists come over here, and the kid next to me starts to faint. Like he's dropping like a wet noodle. I gotta pick him up by his armpit super quick so he doesn't hit his head on the ground. His boyfriend picked him up from the other side of him. We brought him over to this wall. He's feeling better after I got him some water, and I told the story of Ann Vaughn. He was fine. I didn't have to call paramedics. So luckily for me, this was also the last stop during that year's route. So I spread everybody out after I told the story, but these two guys pull me aside and say, hey Nick, we have to tell you, we are two transgender males. I had two females dressed like males, just like Ann and Mary in the story on the tour. That heated warning I give you at the top of the night is not a scare tactic, guys. It is a real thing. When you guys show up early, I'm kind of like giving a little bit of a chat, watching your guys' faces a lot to make sure I don't have a psychic or a medium in the tour, because if I do, they are not getting a headphone spirit box. I don't want to interfere with what they're already getting. You have to imagine, I do see a lot of enthusiasts, and then I also see a lot of psychics and mediums, based on what you guys are doing tonight. They want to test themselves out. Half of them I debunk in real time, and they go home. They get pissed off. Like they got to leave halfway through the tour, but it is what it is. So again, I just like to kind of point that out, that that's not a scare tactic, you know, based on being on a ghost tour. It's a real thing. So Ann Bonnie, one of the few pictures you can find of this young lady where she actually has a shirt on. As I shut it off, right? The reason why is because she used to basically bare her breast to the... I can't figure out my damn code now. There we go. I got it sideways. Wow, what is happening? It's glitching. Wow, it's not gonna turn on. And this thing was fully charged before I left the house. Wow. Anybody else got like a drainage on your batteries? Can you guys see like battery life on your stuff? This doesn't happen often, but yeah, you're fine. Okay. Anyway, so just know that she used to bare her breast to show men that they were about to die by the hand of a woman, because you gotta remember she's wearing male pirate's garb. So again, that's gonna go wonky all the entire night. So that's what it does. It starts to shut on and off. So Ann Bonnie grew up in County Cork, Ireland. So if you ask her where she grew up and you say, what city did you grow up in, you will get the word county. It's almost like she's correcting you. We do get the word Cork from time to time. The name of her parents were William Cormack and Mary Brennan. This was not another subliminal trick with the name Mary. We just happen to have two in the story. Mary Brennan was also a servant for the Cormack family. So if you guys wanted to guess how dad met mom, you'd be correct. Wow, it's getting super loud over here. With all them putting that stuff away.
What county did you say again?
County Cork.
I think my friend's from there, so I'm asking.
Gotcha.
Not really.
And Ann Bonnie had red hair, just so everybody knows. Calico Jack was named Calico Jack because of the jackets that he wore. They came from British captains that he killed. His father was a tailor, so he enjoyed the fine textiles of the overseas captain. You guys got the point. So Calico Jack, in today's modern English, means fancy jacket. That's where the name came from. So Jack's ship name was called the Kingston. I do not expect the word Kingston to come out of any spirit box, maybe Keith's, because it does pick up on more disembodied voices than the rest. But the rest of you are listening to Charleston radio stations. You're not going to hear Kingston. If you get the word king, that will suffice. I'm good with that. It's the same mentality of what color is a big red barn. Hopefully you guys are starting to see the point on that one too. So you guys got the point of we're going to be blindfolding some folks at the next location. We're going to be walking up about 2.5 blocks. It is our longest trek in between spaces. You guys got the gist with all of your gear. Now, did you guys notice the giant QR codes on the back of most of your devices? That's my business card. If you're an Apple user, you scan it. It'll give you all of my socials, website, phone number, email, all of it. Puts it right inside your phone. I don't do paper business cards, so if you want all the contact info, just scan it. If you're Android, just hold your phone to it and it'll do it automatically. That means you're cooler. It's less work. I know, because there's a chip inside those stickers. All right, let's go blindfold some people. You guys ready for this? All right, let's get the hell out of here. You brought a lot with you, man.
No, that was her friend. She's only 24 years old. Look what a cute little girl she was.
What was her?
Oh, the family. Did you ever read I wish that Caitlin was really getting that song.
Oh,
That would have been it.
What are you talking about?
So I got the word buns, and then
Oh, yeah.
she said that sometimes she's raunchy, and Caitlin got I'm too sexy.
Oh, that's fun.
Wait, did you hear when we were in the other space what I found?
What?
On this? So he just told us that before every tour, he goes to locations and talks to the ghosts and says, oh, they're coming, like Keith, Ginger, Elizabeth, whoever are
Yeah.
coming,
Uh-huh.
just to say we'll be respectful and
Yeah.
everything. And then in there, I got
We're gonna go around the house.
join, and then Peyton's initials, MPS, and my initials, EPL.
Oh.
So we're like, maybe you can use because he told them that we were coming.
Oh.
It's like a welcome. Like, join me. MPS and EPL.
Or does it mean join me in the afterlife?
That too.
That's what I'm scared of. I literally looked at Liz with teary eyes. I said, am I gonna die?
Join me in the afterlife. When it beats like that, what is it doing?
Yeah, I have to restart it. He says when it fills up with letters.
Oh.
So that's just me.
Oh.
Tanner said, where's Big John? And I said, oh no, were you
Yeah,
there?
yeah. It was
Our Big John. Big John.
I just heard Come for Your Weight Loss Journey now.
Oh, nice.
Nice, nice,
Nice ghost.
nice.
It's got jokes.
Yep. What did Nosa get on the one over there? So weak or something?
Yeah.
Something weak. Or like Eliza was telling you he was weak.
Yeah, so weak.
I also heard Drake like 4 times as he was before he talked about like Kingston, King, and I was like, maybe
But where do these people come from? There's a ton of people.
not all these people. It's like
Ghosts.
the Bloods and the Crips, not like me though. Like
Huh?
like war,
Oh,
turf
oh,
war.
yeah. Turf war.
That's weird.
Apparently, I played better job than Tanner though, so take it.
Oh, this is a cemetery.
I like that.
Yeah.
Caitlin, actually, this is where you have to stay.
Let's see if we can see how old they are.
18
Oh,
something.
yeah,
1870?
yeah, 1802 to 1870. Wow. Wow.
I like what he said that I always get a little eerie in cemeteries. So they're not usually there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Which is funny because some people go to cemeteries.
To say hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually feel very peaceful in cemeteries. I don't get scared.
How many years you told me at least in Rutgers?
Yeah, in Auburn. Yeah, in Auburn. Gosh, Auburn has down the street from where you used to live.
Yeah.
They have that really, really old
Really
cemetery. Yeah, it's.
Right across the way.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Sad.
oh. What?
Sad.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah.
Cemetery.
Right when I walked by.
Yeah, sad. Yeah, I'm on this island. Coconut cake.
I know.
Does it keep saying that? No. Is it?
As we were walking past the cemetery,
Yeah.
I asked a couple times, "Who's here? Can you tell me your name if you're here?" And I have an answer for you.
Oh.
What did he say?
No, well then I didn't get an answer, but someone said I have an answer for you.
That's wild. I got sad walking past the cemetery.
Oh, that's sad. Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're talking to the same person.
Sad? Sad. Sad and then low.
This is so clean here.
Oh, yeah.
For the most part of our city. Oh my gosh, what's your thing doing? What's your thing doing? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, remember sad and low. So far.
I know where we are.
What event?
I had
I just said, is there anybody here? And I got
No. But same event.
no. I like your word.
That looks like a cool hotel.
That's where I had this.
The Mills
doing-
Hotel?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
that's-
with the bank.
Oh, that was so pretty. Guys, look how pretty that is. It's called the Mills Hotel.
Yeah, Mills House.
The Mills House.
What do you think this is?
Wow. You think they're over? You think it's over?
I think so.
Must have been a wedding, right? Probably. It sounds like it's still going on.
I know. Definitely still music.
Oh, I love streets like
I do
this.
too.
But here's how this story goes. The first time I ever came over here, and this is a visual, so I have to look for it since my tablet died. But the first time I came in here, I only had 2 people because it was the month of November. We were exploring the space, and I didn't even know who the hell we were looking for. So the young lady with the spirit box, she actually, she hears the year 1828 and the name Henry. I was using the word list that John has, and I had the name Tim. Well, behind me is a bust of Henry Timrod, who was born in 1828. So it was kind of a hot damn, there's my ghost. So anyway, here's how his story goes, very quick. He's a writer, he's sick through most of his life. So being born in 1828, he can go fight for the Civil War on the Confederate side. He goes out to the battlefield, and his comrades realize he is too sick to fight. They sent him home, knowing he was a writer, and said, go be the voice of the war. He became known as the laureate of the Confederacy after he started writing poetry about what was happening on the battlefield. So a laureate, by the way, is a pretty prestigious title for writers, in case you're unfamiliar with that. So he's doing pretty well for himself, and he has a son by his wife, Katie. So the son's name is Willie, and he's born on Christmas Eve, but yes, he does die 9 months later. Very tragic for him and Katie. Henry is not writing as much. He has another friend here in town, another writer. His name is Paul Hamilton Hayne. He realizes that his friend Henry is not writing as much and offers him his cottage in Columbia. That's the middle of the state. So he goes out there, and that's where he wrote his last words. His last words were, beholder of brief mortality, which basically in today's modern English means dear person with a short life. And then he coughed, and it landed on the page in a blood stain because he had tuberculosis. He died right there, age 38, pen in hand. However, we are here because of that blood stain. They show it one day a year because it's very unique. They show it at the Charleston Library Society because that's where his collection is held. But it looks like a man writing at his desk. They only show that page on Halloween, and you have to be a member to go see it. The internet's beautiful, so I'm going to show you what the blood stain looks like. Normally it's on the tablet as a separate picture, so you kind of have to huddle around. I'll actually go around the horn so you can see what that actually looks like, a man writing at his desk.
Wow.
We call this the blood book. So Henry is not always happy about me being here, just so you guys know. So it usually takes me a minute or 2 to get over there to get him to kind of draw out a little bit. So I'll need obviously your help because, oh no, she'll be able to hear me. So with Caitlin's end of things, I don't touch the people on the bench, and obviously she's not going to be able to hear me. So I may ask one of y'all, if she's too loud, to tap her on the shoulder. She'll know what that means to quiet down. I'll explain it when we get over there. When we're done, somebody will tap her on the leg to let her know to take off her gear. Remember, I'm never going to touch her, so I'll probably volunteer one of the ladies at your party to go and do that for me. So when we get over there, hopefully it looks like a conversation. EMF can go high. We may get an answer from on the word list or the Ouija board device. So again, I don't know where the answers are going to go. It's very interesting how this whole process works. So hopefully we either have a good laugh or we have a full-blown conversation. You guys ready to talk to a ghost? Let's do it. Let's do it. It's a Batman mask. I figured I'd always have a 50-50 shot of a woman sitting here, and I didn't want to mess with anybody's hair. So there's your Batman mask. That'll go in your ear. Okay. And then you'll put your headphones over the top. Don't put it on there, because I do have to explain a few things while I'm setting up the visual part of this. So just so you know, Caitlin, if you're speaking too loud, which I don't think is going to be a problem, we do have neighbors. Somebody from your party will actually tap your shoulder, quiet down a little bit. I will never touch you. When we're done, that same person will tap you on the leg. Take off your own gear. We filming the entire thing. Looks like Ginger's going to be filming it with extra light. With your images, you're going to see like space here and out in the distance. It's not going to be like Jurassic Park's dinosaurs repeating your face kind of virtual reality. So every once in a while, in front of that like galaxy, an image will show up. Explain the image in simple terms. Two ladies bench tree. Otherwise, she can't hear you. You'll obviously hear the questions. You'll also know when they're done. I'll say like that. Take that thing off of your All right, so I'm going to set this up real quick. So go ahead and blindfold, then headphones over top. And again, I start timing this the minute you put that blindfold on. So again, as you hear it, just say it. Okay, it's 10:58 at this point. And Elaine, all you'll have to do is look straight ahead. It will line up with you once I get it set up. And I don't know what the images are that you're going to see. I've been doing this experiment with the images for about a year, and I've yet to see the same image show up twice. So take that for what it is. So just kind of look straight ahead. You do have a focus on here in case it's blurry. You have a little dial right here, so you can move that. And then underneath, you have little thumb channels, so you can push it in or out. Okay, there you go. Okay, so it's now, so Caitlin, can you hear me? Yes, you can. Put those headphones on. It's 10:59.
Oh.
You got something already?
No. It's really soon.
As soon as you hear it.
Okay.
We've already started.
I don't know if it. Oh, I see. No.
Podcast.
Okay. Henry Timmerman, asking you to come forward. Major space for Caitlin here. We'll have Elaine. You can see whatever you want us to see tonight. You can use your green box to give us any images. Henry Timrod, we're going to start
Love
off
you.
simple like we always do. Can you tell us something about your occupation or maybe show us any tools that you had to use?
My computer career.
Henry, be more specific. What did you do for a living? Henry, what's the sound we're getting out of the church right now? What sound do we hear? And we've actually had the word L spelled out on the Ouija board list, just so you know. And then we've actually seen it on the word list, John. So we've got it on all parts. That's why you can ask the question.
Breathe.
Henry, what sound are we getting out of the church right now? You can show us. Give us an image of it. Still hearing it. What's the sound?
Never gonna get it.
Got something?
On my mind. You cannot find.
Blurry. Move your focus. Good. Sometimes it's hard to describe. Give it a second to kind of generate.
You.
Henry, what's in the image?
Still.
Almost like a playing card.
Okay.
Summer.
Political.
Political.
What's that?
Like a king's playing card, like royal.
Okay. The royal card.
That's what it looks like to me on the side.
Okay, can you give us the name of the mustache?
With a mustache, a red hat, and he's wearing blue drapes. He's usually wearing blue curtain. And now it's gone.
AirPods?
Okay, Henry, I'm not sure what's going on in the image. We're going to take a look at that.
Everybody know it.
Henry, we're still asking you about your occupation. What did you do for a living?
Looking for me. Teenager.
We are looking for you. We want to make sure you're here. If somebody,
Taking to the river.
if somebody else is with you, let me know who that person is. Remember, Dr. will actually live here because the house he lived in is right around the corner. So again, place of raise emotion, lead over into here. He'd love to show up from time to time. Henry, if somebody came with you, let me know. But we're still looking for your occupation. You are not a card player. I don't know what the playing card is. Somebody playing music? Henry?
Whatever.
Oh. Kind of a jerk move, right? Henry, we're being respectful. No
300 plus tax.
Number 300 tonight. This is the third time it was heard.
Yeah.
Henry,
Lori.
let's move on. Let's talk about what your work actually did.
Material girl.
Looking for you to validate that you were a writer. And tell us what you wrote about.
No more.
We know you don't write about. Henry, you want to talk about what you wrote about?
Nobody knows me.
Didn't actually study you in college piece there, but they're learning more and more about you. But I would like to know more directly from you.
Oh God. Those are giant eyes.
It's the big eye.
Big eye.
Okay.
Look at him. Which one?
I got
Winking at you.
No.
Oh.
Do I go have a home?
Henry. Tell us about what you wrote about.
150.
And we're about halfway through this and you haven't given us anything. Dr. Ladd, if you're here, you
Indian
know,
the Jets.
you know what your code word is.
Repaint.com.
To let us know that you're here. Dr. Ladd's code word to let us know he's here is purple. So in case she says purple, you guys know what that is.
Get it right.
Do it right. Okay, good. Vague. Got a contact.
Material.
Henry, what did you write about? Henry, what did you write about?
I got man. Man?
Just NAN. It's pretty boring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need war. That's what we're looking for.
More.
Fort? Henry? Notice she didn't say anything as I was talking to the two of you. Like, I turned and she's not saying anything. Henry, push forward. We're down,
It's my mom.
we're down to about 2 minutes. You've only given us 2 images and I don't know what they mean.
800.
I don't know what they mean. And you haven't given us any direction to indicate that you're here. Simple, tell us what you wrote about. One word answer.
Never want to know. The way you move for the music.
Verification. Tell us your job, what you wrote about.
Yeah, you.
You tell us what you wrote about.
I only want.
Henry, yes, no question. Is it too noisy out here for you tonight with all these weddings? Henry, we're running out of time. Less than a minute.
Watch me.
Henry Kimbrough. If you'd like us to go home, just say that we're home. Or you'll give us at least one more image, and we'll call it a wrap.
But I didn't.
One more image, Henry. Only two. Give us a third, and we'll go home.
I forgot.
Not forget. Henry,
Have you ever get it right?
John, is anything going on with your devices?
Nothing.
Scramble.
EMF readings? Anything? Trouble?
Scramble.
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 He's friend.
No EMF readings at all?
Nope.
All right, can I get somebody to tap out Caitlin, please? And Elaine, go ahead and tip. Oh,